Man, check out the size of this shop. This thing is huge. Can you see me over there? Stand by. "30 by 80, 16-foot high walls. Pretty big. Almost too big, but I don't really think there's such a thing. It's been quite a process with this whole thing. It started with taking the other shop apart, which actually it almost looks like it grows a little bit while you're taking it down. But the biggest part was taking the CNC apart till finally, eventually, we got it down to nothing, and we moved it from there to here.
Where all this grass is that needs to be removed so we can fill it with gravel, because we have 24 inches of topsoil, which you can't compact that. We got a couple different loads of gravel. Well, maybe 7 or 8. And when it's finally stripped, they lay down fabric so more grass will not grow. Take the gravel out there, pack it down. Probably about 3 foot deep on one end and about at least a foot deep on the other end. And since they're bringing material for the shop, we got to take down this lean-to that's in the way to put right there next to this new pad. And look at this. The whole side of the garage is gone. And one of the coolest things in the world are these forklifts that the wheels turn 90 degrees so they can go right down the side and load all your stuff. Of course, we have the inspector. He loves it out here. Pad's done, material's delivered. And so they laid it out and dug some 4-foot holes. Quite a few of them, actually. One post every 10 feet. Times past, they used to put the lumber straight into the dirt, but they don't do that anymore. They have these permacolumns that are precast, pre-made, with little feet on the bottom and a little Allen screw you can see right there to adjust the height of the permacolumn. And they just set them in there one at a time. Even though these are adjusted with the foot on the bottom for their height, they're still going to come back, shoot a line, and they'll cut the tops of the posts off to height. They dug all the holes in the afternoon the day before, and the next day they came out here, set them all, got it inspected, and poured the same day. Have this hopper attached to the skid steer they fill with concrete, drive it to the back, because you can't get a concrete truck back there, and put about half a yard of concrete in each post hole, maybe 3/4 a yard in a double post hole. And before it's even completely cured, they start nailing on girders. Or girts, I think. They use equipment for everything. Very little things get hand loaded. They use this boom lift, set all the trusses. I have sped the video up a little bit, but still, this didn't take long at all. They cut the 2 outer plies off the top of the post. It came pre-made from the shop. And then they just slid the double truss right over it. And just like that, all the trusses are up. Oh, here's a beautiful view from underneath the maple tree. And they're out there working. Odd to be young again. These guys just run right up there with this insulation. This is where the window's going to be in the back. This will be my view. Pretty tough up here. Pull the insulation up and then they pull the metal roofing right up on top of it and screw it down.
Knew I should have trimmed that tree. Next year. It is a beautiful morning. Day number 6. Although it's been 14 days since they delivered material. Says they'll be done today.
And he wasn't joking. The cost of the build didn't include the slab, but I'll contract that out with somebody else and let them grade it out for me. Which only took them a couple hours, but the next day...
This is what's nice about a big indoor shop. Wind is really blowing and it was raining like a son of a gun not too long ago. But let's go inside. All graded out. Now we just have to lay some foam board.
My plan is to put a radiant floor heating system in this thing. So I'm going to lay a bunch of foam board, which is easy to work with. Cuts easily. Super light, even for us old guys. Once we get it all laid down, I came back with Tyvek tape and taped every seam. This upright stapler is a back saver. Make sure you got to have this 1 foot apart, no more than 300 foot per loop, which I had 8. And I ran it through these 1-inch conduits where I was going to make my manifold.
Now these are my kind of worker guys. Said they'd be here at 6. Start pouring at 6:30. 5:20 they were pulling in. Concrete truck just showed up 6 o'clock. Pump guys got here first about 5:20. Here they are.
So I pressurized the manifold so we know that this thing's holding air while they're pouring concrete. And it's been holding for a while. I didn't take a picture of the manifold evidently. But this was just in case they put a shovel through a line or something. I had all my parts ready to go to repair it. But we didn't have that problem. Now it's been a while since I've done any kind of serious concrete work, but this 20-foot wide power screed is pretty cool. Radiant floor heating is going to be a project in the future, but I had 8 loops, 1 zone, nothing more than 300 feet, and they were all pretty close to the same length, which is critical when you have these systems, so you don't get warmer in one loop than another. This slab ended up being 5 inches thick because of the radiant floor tubing. Still got to do some manual floating with the mag here and there. They laid number 3 rebar over all my radiant tubing. All the rebar was fiberglass. It's supposed to be as strong, it's definitely a lot lighter. And you eventually get down to the handwork right at the end. 4 guys hand wiping, 2 guys on power trowels. Made pretty decent time. Very next morning, saw cuts. Skill saws on these special sleds.
Ooh, can hear the rain on the metal roof. It's actually kind of cool. This is what happens when you have extra space. You fill it with a trailer, with all your household possessions. That's because we were moving. It's just big storage space that I didn't have to rent. No, this isn't a video from a year ago or even 3 years ago, but this is the last surgery on this shoulder. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, put in the comments how many times you think I've had shoulder surgery. Once I get all the stuff out of here, we're going to go ahead and lay out the shop as an actual woodworking workshop. I got 2 table saws to put in, thinking about buying a CNC rather than making a CNC. Need a shaper, need a new planer, surface planer, all kinds of really good stuff. So if you're interested in helping me laying this thing out, let me know. So, meantime, watch all these videos or subscribe, and we'll see you real soon.